may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody.
Civil rights leader and former presidential candidate Jesse Jackson has died. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Tuesday, February 17th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. The Reverend Jesse Jackson was born in 1941 in South Carolina. The civil rights movement was gaining momentum during his college days when he led student protests in Greensboro, North Carolina. He met Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1965 when Jackson and other seminary students traveled to Selma, Alabama for what turned out to be a historic march for voting rights. Jackson became the leading voice of Black American aspirations in the years after King's assassination in 1968. On Saturday mornings in Chicago, he would lead a crowd of devoted followers in his signature chant, which you just heard part of. It was often broadcast live on local and national radio. Here he is in 1963.
I am black, beautiful, proud. I must be respected. I must be protected.
That audio comes to us from the YouTube channel of Cleveland.com. Jackson ventured where no civil rights leader had gone before by seeking the 1984 Democratic presidential nomination. He finished third in the primary campaign. He ran again 4 years later, won the Michigan caucuses, and briefly became the front-runner, making it further than any Black person in American presidential politics had before. A statement from Jackson's family this morning did not provide a cause of death. He was 84. Number 2. The U.S. and Iran are holding nuclear talks today in Switzerland. The talks in Geneva are aimed at curbing Iran's nuclear program and avoiding a regional war. It comes as tensions are rising between the U.S. and Iran. President Donald Trump has been building up military forces in the Middle East and has threatened the use of force if negotiations fail. Trump spoke to reporters on Air Force One yesterday.
No, I think they want to make a deal. I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal. They want to make a deal.
Iran is demanding significant sanctions relief in exchange for constraints on its nuclear program. Its leaders are attempting to project strength and unity. But anger has not abated in Iran in the weeks following a brutal government crackdown on protests. That crackdown killed thousands of people, according to accounts from inside the country. Thousands more Iranians are missing. Security forces are continuing to carry out waves of arrests, and inflation has skyrocketed since the crackdown. Economic grievances sparked the protests last month that morphed into anti-regime demonstrations. Number 3. The Epstein files have sparked a wave of resignations and investigations. It's been more than 2 weeks since the latest batch of files from the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein was released by the Justice Department. The millions of documents outlined years of correspondence connecting the late sex offender to some of the wealthiest and most powerful people in the world. The release has roiled Europe, leading to resignations and criminal inquiries. But it hasn't been the same story in the U.S. Resignations and investigations of those named in the files have not taken place on the same scale. Only a few high-profile people have stepped down from their jobs after new revelations of their connections to Epstein. That includes Kathy Rumler, who was a top Goldman Sachs lawyer and a former official in the Obama White House. In today's newsletter, you can find a list of more resignations and investigations. Just follow the link in our show notes. Number 4. A judge ordered the Trump administration to restore a slavery exhibit. Last month, National Park Service staff took down an exhibit on slavery at Independence National Historical Park in Philadelphia. The exhibit was made up of 34 educational panels that were on display at a site where George Washington lived as president. The removal was connected to President Trump's executive order, which called for eliminating divisive narratives from national sites. But yesterday, a federal judge ordered the reinstallation of the exhibit. U.S. District Judge Cynthia Roof compared the display's removal to the actions of Big Brother in George Orwell's novel 1984. Barack Obama said aliens are real, then walked it back. That's our fifth story. The former president appeared in an interview with liberal podcaster Brian Tyler Cohen on Saturday. He answered questions about the upcoming elections, Bad Bunny, and more. Then, near the end of the interview, in a lightning round Q&A, he said this.
A couple questions here. Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
UFO believers took that moment as proof that the truth is out there and that government leaders have spent decades concealing it. If that's what you took from it, I'm sorry to disappoint you. In an Instagram post on Sunday, Obama clarified that he was just talking about the statistical likelihood of extraterrestrial life in such a vast universe. And he said he had seen no evidence during his presidency that aliens have made contact with us. Number 6. We fact-checked Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s claim that the keto diet cures schizophrenia. Since becoming Trump's health secretary, Kennedy has repeatedly misstated, exaggerated, or stripped context from legitimate scientific research, according to medical experts. His recent claims about the low-carb, high-fat ketogenic diet provide another example of this tendency. Kennedy has referred to the case of a Harvard University psychiatrist who he said cured schizophrenia using keto diets. But that professor has clarified that those patients are better described as being in remission rather than being cured. Kennedy relies on small, preliminary studies to back up his claims. But large randomized controlled trials, which are the gold standard of evidence-based medicine, have not demonstrated that patients with schizophrenia are better off with a keto diet than medication alone. Kennedy and his allies often demand similar gold standard trials for vaccines, but he does not tend to apply this standard to his own nutritional claims. And at number 7, if you have a problem, new research suggests that sleeping on it could help you find an answer. Karen Konkoly is a neuroscientist who loves thinking about life's big questions while she sleeps. In a recent study, she and her colleagues wanted to find out whether dreams can spark creativity or insight. So she asked study volunteers to solve brain teasers. Researchers played a unique soundtrack with each puzzle and then played that same music while they were asleep. The results were intriguing. 40% of the people who incorporated the puzzles into their dreams solved those same puzzles the next morning. That was twice the rate of those who didn't incorporate the puzzles into their dreams. So if you've got a big challenge ahead today and you don't know what to do, your best bet might be going back to sleep. All right, you're all caught up. If you've been thinking about subscribing to the Washington Post, we have a great deal right now in our President's Day sale. You can get a core subscription for just $2 every 4 weeks for the first year. You probably have $2 under your car seat right now. After the first year, that renews at $14 every 4 weeks, and you can cancel anytime. Find all the details at washingtonpost.com/subscribe. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll be off tomorrow, but make sure you tune in to hear a brand new voice hosting The 7.